I was kind of right with what I was going with. Itsuki is a bitch. But as much as I want to insult him and his shenanigans, I can't help but also feel bad for him. He acts like Motoyatsu, and yet he has such a backstory that it makes me sort of relate to him. Not enough to be like, oh, well, now I feel bad for being mean about him. Nah, he's still kind of a dick. So we're in the episode where Rishia finally shines. She confronts Itsuki, and his attention gets thrown towards Naofumi's direction, and yeah, he figures out what the hell's going on, and then has the audacity to actually shoot at Naofumi, where despite the fact that there are literal kids right near him, and then blames him that, oh, he's using those slave kids as a shield. And yeah, that's kind of bold of him to say. So with his justice bow, he fires an arrow, shoots everywhere around, and it only hits the referee, and the referee is just brainwashed. There's something funny about this brainwashing. In season 1, they bitch blamed Naofumi to have some kind of brainwashing shield. And look how it is now. We have the bow hero with a brainwashed bow. How ironic. So yes, he goes on about justice, about how he can set everything right. Basically, as Naofumi says, he's full of shit. So Rishia basically also speaks about justice, which is an interesting thing because this episode's called Justice versus Justice. So we have her showing her badass abilities using the Hengen Muso secret techniques that she learned from the old lady, and is proving to be quite the effective fighter. Compared to how she was at the very end of Season 1, and even a bit of Season 2, we see that she has grown enough to where even one of the Curse series' deadly abilities, the frickin' Bull of Polaris? That's how you pronounce it? You see, this is the third thing we've seen of just a death trap like that. The first one was when Naofumi made it against that ghost creature. The second one was when Ren tried to use one on Naofumi. And now here's the third. So we're just waiting for Motoyatsu to do his crazy ass thing. But to have been caught on that and break it kind of shows that she is pretty strong. She's Cardinal... Well, you can't say she's Cardinal Hero level, because Naofumi is the true Cardinal Hero. The other three are not necessarily that level, though I could argue that Ren's working to that point. But yeah, Itsuki is basically, his Pride series is pushing him to keep going because he is not gonna let up. So he's starting to completely lose his goddamn mind. And although Naofumi wants to help and tosses a sword that can help, Rishia refuses it because that would mean that she needed help, which is pretty badass of her. I mean, yeah, you could say foolish, but let's be real. Do you think she wouldn't be a strong character if she accepted help? Help does not necessarily mean that you're weak, but in this scenario, Rishia wants to save Itsuki herself, and she views it as, I have to be the one to do it kind of ordeal, which is fine. Like, yeah, Itsuki has that whole ordeal, but the problem with him is he's taking it to the most extremist of things, to the point where he wants to brainwash people. So yeah, his justice is corrupted as hell. Well, Rishia says she wants to be the one to save it to repay a debt she has for him, which is funny saying debt, but we'll get to that. So yeah, Itsuki throwing a hissy fit about justice. Suddenly the bow shot at Rishia, which broke the slave crest that she had and basically powered her up, showing that the cardinal weapon does not even agree with Itsuki. It's bad when your own weapon basically turns against you. Because, yeah, Motoyatsu's a dick, and then obviously went into his weird thing with Filo. We're not going to get into that, but the spear didn't turn on him. Hell, Ren, when his sword didn't turn on him. Naofumi, when he was enraged and hated everything, arguably even worse than Itsuki, because Naofumi was wrath, the shield didn't turn on him. So Itsuki, You really do suck. Your weapon views you as a problem. So yeah, he basically loses his goddamn mind, and Rishia just kicks his ass. So we start getting Itsuki's backstory of his dream of being a hero who fights for justice. So a kid Itsuki, inspired to want to help others, inspired by everyone that he is destined for greatness, only to be shown that he's not even close to the top. He is in level E, which that is humiliating, I guess. I guess level A's are like literally the top dogs. But the fact that his mother was also crying in disappointment definitely kind of shows how much they pushed him up to be this high tier person. So it starts to show why he's so picky on Rishia, because Rishia basically reminds him of himself, and he hates it. So he doesn't want to be inferior, and that's why bitch had caused him to be, well, this delusional, because she basically played on his ego or on his desire to want to be useful, and only to eventually realize that she left a letter saying that she wasted his money and basically left, as well as insulting him, before also leaving a present, which is debt. Basically, anything she paid, she used it under his name, so he's basically in debt. Which, yeah, guess how that's paid off? Through Naofumi. But yeah, Itsuki has a complete meltdown, and eventually it's just mind broken. We do get to see young Itsuki does care for others, like showing a young Itsuki, like younger Itsuki, kind of being told that he will be a hero fighting for justice, showing where his motivation sort of came into play. And yeah, I can't help but feel bad for mind broken Itsuki. Like, that genuinely sucks, because he looks so dead. More dead than ever. So yeah, Naofumi went to the queen to ask what the hell did bitch gave him. So without much answers, I mean, the only thing that Naofumi has now, considering that all the four heroes are sort of together, with Ren training, Itsuki being taken care of by Rishia, and then wherever the hell Motoyatsu is, all that Naofumi needs is to protect the village, make his village strong. So that's how the episode ends, with Raphtalia kind of worried for Itsuki, and Naofumi kind of saying that, I mean, justice is complicated. And it is, though we're not going to get into that, because that might take a lot longer, and probably should be its own video. But overall, Itsuki is a bitch. Don't get me wrong. Bitch is worse. Like, bitch is a bitch. Itsuki is just an annoying brat, but he's kind of a bitch. However, he's someone I can't help but also sympathize. Like, yeah, he acted like Motoyatsu at some points. I mean, season 1 Motoyatsu. But I do believe that he has room to grow. It's just he needs to kind of overcome his mind-broken state right now.